Dude, I'm like fucking stressed.
Well, it's the camera's on us, so
Oh, let's go,
let's
baby.
fucking go. It's 5 o'clock. We're here.
Holy titties.
We're doing this. I look.
I gotta put the pen down because
Get,
everything's gonna be really loud from my microphone.
we fidget too much.
Oh, dude.
This should just
Anxiety is a monster, isn't it?
be. Yeah, this should just be the fidgeting podcast.
Well, I guess this is it, huh? Welcome
Yeah.
to the Left on the Web podcast.
Awesome. That's
Episode 1.
episode 1.
We've never done a podcast, so it'll be interesting to see us kind of catch our footing and see where this thing takes us,
Have
for sure.
absolutely no idea what we're doing. Audio quality's garbage.
I'm Lloyd, otherwise known as Lefty. I prefer Lefty though on the internet. I don't know why. It feels right.
It feels right,
And
but
then
it's
over
also
here.
left.
And then over here on whichever other side, I'm not the one that organized these cameras, so I'm gonna just kind of do this.
So wait,
And
right?
there's
Nope. Other way.
there's Lil Webb,
Other way.
as I know him.
Other way.
Other way.
That way.
So
Right
this way.
there. So hi.
He's this way.
I'm Ethan.
Over here.
I'm Ethan, Spartan Chief 905, or Lil Webb. You can call me whatever.
You're gonna hear me refer to him as Lil Webb endlessly.
Yeah.
I've never once called him Ethan, and even saying it just then made me want to regurgitate in my own mouth. So
I've known this man for 4 years now,
something like that.
somewhere around there.
Feels like an eternity.
I mean, hell, only a year into knowing you, I started editing shit for you.
That's facts.
That is facts. So
So that's
yeah, that's
an interesting thing.
we're only 2 minutes into this podcast, and we have to make an hour out of it.
I know. So what are some hobbies? What should the people know about you?
Know about me. I love
Yeah.
guns. I love wrenching on cars. I love
Oh, he
editing.
wrenches on some cars. Let me tell you.
I love editing YouTube videos and making content for people to enjoy. Even if they don't enjoy it, I like doing it for myself. That's what my channel is primarily about. I edit YouTube videos to make me happy, not necessarily to make other people happy.
I give him lots of work when I am recording.
He does, when he actually gets around to it. I like to read. Do you like to read?
I used to love to read. So Morgan, my fiance, is actually trying to help me get back to finding that passion of reading. And so actually for Christmas, she got me a complete encyclopedia of Marvel.
Ooh.
So it's something I'm super interested in because I love, superheroes, anything like off the wall nerdy like that. And it's like an entire encyclopedia. Like it's like this thick.
Ooh.
And it has like an introduction to Stan Lee, which I know when I read it's going to make me bawl my eyes out. Or an introduction from Stan Lee, more or less. I'm going to bawl my eyes out. So
When was this book written? Published?
it's the newest one. I don't know because I'll be frank, I haven't opened it, but I've been very stressed out.
Okay.
Real quick, before we get too deep into this, I want to say something because we are live streaming this. When we do these episodes, we are going to live stream because once we get the access to live stream on YouTube, it's going to make putting the podcast on YouTube a whole lot easier for us. And by us, I mean him.
Yeah.
We're going to do like a live Q&A at the end of every episode. But for those of you that are just listening to this on Spotify, Google Podcasts,
Whatever the fuck else we
whatever. For the first couple episodes, we're probably going to cut out the live Q&A stuff, just to kind of keep it shorter and see how the podcast does. But if that's something you guys want, you can hit us up on Twitter, or stop by one of our streams or whatever. I know we're going to have our socials linked,
Oh yeah.
whether it be in the description on YouTube or wherever you find the podcast. There'll be a little description. But that's just something we're going to do. So chat over here. Just know we're not ignoring you. We're just going to kind of try to keep the vibes rolling, the questions, the answers, the fun talks. That way it's still got the podcast format for everyone listening. But at the same time, we want to get you guys involved at the end. Those of you that are, actually live with us right now. That way we can, answer some questions if you guys want to know what we've been up to for the last... God, they haven't seen me in how long?
2 years.
Since... Yeah. Goodness.
You've been fucking around for 2 years, my man.
Yeah, but I haven't even been live on Twitch since what, August of last year?
Yeah, just about.
Life took over. Life took over, that's for sure. We'll get into that in a minute. But
life hit like a fucking freight train.
Yeah, it did.
But man, we're getting back into it. That's the whole reason we started this podcast, so that we could still get some content out there and kind of keep the vibes going.
Yeah, some form of content, because I truly miss creating and expressing myself. It's like my little escape from whatever's ailing me in life, and I haven't been able to do it, so I've been a little more down in the dumps than normal, which kind of sucks. But, you know, life goes on. We keep moving forward, keep picking my feet up, keep trying to climb that hill. But
insert the little life goes on duck from TikTok
here. Yeah,
well, life goes on and on and on.
But for those of you that don't know, like I said, Lefty. I go by shooting_Lefty on like Twitch and any other social media, really. I like to play video games. I like to hang out with my friends and family. You know, cliche, yeah, as some would say. But my big thing is like playing video games and creating content. I found a niche in that, and I thoroughly enjoy it, to the point where like I devoted a lot of my life to trying to do it and trying to make a career out of it. And I'm hoping one day that it will eventually happen. But for now, it's just a hobby that I delve into pretty heavily when I do have the time and the means to do it. But as of right now, haven't been able to. Like I said, life has hit really hard. Lots of things hit all at once. Shit hit the fan, as some would say. But we're slowly building back up to where I can get back to doing it. And dude, this dude over here, this guy right there.
This guy that
he's been there through a lot with me. He's gotten to have a front row seat to my shit show. Shit show.
Speaking of shit shows, I forgot to hit record.
Farted. Goofies.
So we are just now, for everyone who's listening to this now, other than probably grabbing the rest of it from the Twitch VOD, welcome.
The quality probably just went way up for you on YouTube.
Probably. I'll take whichever one's better. Oh shit.
Man. What a segue, huh? What a segue into like recent events, huh?
7 minutes.
Everything's fucking up. 7 minutes of us
of
just rambling about ourselves and how this is our first time podcasting and talking about the live segment versus the recorded segment, things like that. Like,
it'll be great. We'll see just how well.
This is how our lives go as well. Like,
that it is.
We don't run fantastic lives like a lot of people. It's a lot of chaos.
Yeah, that's.
But what's some stuff you've been having going on, man? You know, like
well,
let's talk about the last year as a whole. Like, what's been some craziness? There's been some big things for you.
Well, December was officially 1 year in the house.
Okay.
So, we bought this beautiful house back December of 2021. I almost didn't know the year it was. I sold my Cruise so I can get a bigger car to make sure that my kiddo is safe. Speaking of the kiddo, she's out there yelling.
The most adorable kiddo, by the way.
She is. She's adorable.
Get lots of pictures every day.
Yeah, there's not all that much. I sit down and I work. I've been trying to do a little bit more YouTube here and there. Do not go and watch that last episode I posted. That was garbage. I'm
gonna definitely go watch it, and everyone should do the same.
I had everything. No, I'm serious. Don't. It's literally only there for context. Because it is garbage. The audio is off, the video's laggy. I didn't have any settings right. It was a shit show, but I didn't just want to can it and start over halfway into the game. So I posted it.
See, that's a struggle for anyone that does like any kind of content. It's like you get into it and you're like, oh, everything's fucked up. Uh-oh, I either gotta make a choice here. Do I restart or do I just let it rock and be this like grainy, unbalanced, unorganized monster, so that you have my raw initial reactions to this game that I'm playing? Or do I run it back, try to fake the reactions, or try to relive them and risk, not having that authenticity?
Right, and that's kind of the decision I made. I went with, well, I'll edit it and try and clean it up the best I can. That's why for half of the video the audio quality is garbage. Um, I tried to edit it as best I can and still post it so it's somewhat watchable, but it's literally there for context, so you can see what happened up to where I'm at now.
Right.
But
well, what's it like being a homeowner? I'm so curious. I would one day like to own a home, but I just don't have the means.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. It's a shit show.
Yeah, everything's breaking and no one's here to fix it for me.
I'm the one that has to fix it. Because paying people to fix shit in a house is ungodly expensive. So I just had to replace a sump pump not too long ago. It went out in the basement.
Dude, that basement's creepy. I've been in his house. I was in his house like what, a month after you got it?
Yeah, not even.
And his basement is terrifying.
Speaking of which, I still have to edit that trip to Ohio video.
Yeah, I have all the footage. I have all of it. I just haven't. I know some of it has gotten put up. I don't know if we got all of it put up. Because I had to get some off of Morgan's phone, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Get all that put up, and I'll look into it.
Dude, his basement, though, like, legitimately, the first time I walked into it, I was like, I don't want to be here. He's going to lock me in here, give me little tiny scraps of food, chain me to the floor, gag me.
Unfortunately, that basement locks from the inside.
I could get out.
Yeah, the last owner that owned it ran a massage therapy office in the basement.
I really thought that was going to go somewhere else. The last owner ran a brothel downstairs.
Dave's Brothel House, where if you pay, you can stay.
Oh, man. Dude. 2022 was a crazy year.
It was.
It was a wild one. It had some really, really good ups, but a lot of really low downs for me.
Well, speaking of some of the ups, give us some of the ups of last year. What happened?
I got to go to Ohio and meet some friends that I've known for quite a while. Shout out to this guy.
Hey, what's up?
He actually flew us out to his house as a gift, and we got to hang out with. Didn't get to hang out with him a whole bunch. He was having a child.
Yeah, that that kind of happened.
But got to spend some time with T-Webb, your mom, your siblings. Story is adorable.
Oh, wait, hold on. You spent time with my mom. Hold on now.
I'm just kidding. But we get to hang out with quite a few members of your family and just have like a really good time. Got my ass smacked a lot while I was in Ohio because I also got to meet basically my entire mod team lives in Ohio when I stream. You've got you, T-Webb, J-Rock. Michael's actually going to be back to being on the mod squad.
Hell yeah.
And it was just a really good time. A really good time. J-Rock was really fun to meet. T-Webb actually drove us to J-Rock's house. We hung out there for quite a while. I didn't know we were going to be there for as long as it was, but because it was really late, so I didn't know if we were going to get kicked out or whatever, but we actually had to hang out for quite a while. It was a really good time. His kids are adorable. It was really cool to finally meet Michael because I've known that kid since 2017. Didn't think it was going to happen, but then it happened.
My heart almost just stopped. I thought, I said my heart almost just stopped. I looked down and none of the audio was spiking like it should be, and I thought I had it still muted.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, fuck.
But no, we spent so much time with T-Webb, and it was the best. We got to play in snow. It snowed so hard while we were there, and we don't get a lot of snow here in Arkansas, regularly. And so it was really cool to be able to go out in, knee-deep snow and just have a good time. We shot guns.
Oh, the pew-pews.
I'm not, the biggest gun fanatic, but I did have fun. past that, shit hit the fan for a little while. Then we got back on our feet. Tried creating content throughout the year. I was streaming pretty regularly. Jobs for me have been few and far between because I'll find one and then it just doesn't work with like my outlook on life and like the things that I want to accomplish. Like, so it'll either eat all of my time to where I can't create content, or if I do create content, I don't get to see my fiance at all. So that sucks. And so I've tried to kind of mold and find jobs that fit my timeline on things. So I was bouncing job to job, trying to find the right one for a while. We had some financial hardships this year, so we ended up, losing vehicles. We had to move back in with my dad. Thank goodness he let us move back in, because otherwise we would have been living probably out of a motel or our car. So, but like I said, some of the ups were insane. I finally got to do what every kid ever wants to do. I got to go to Disney.
Woo!
And, so like my year, it was like Florida trip, Ohio trip, everything else.
It started off strong.
It started off really strong, and it ended off really strong because we didn't go to Florida until late September, early October. So like the year started off on a really high note and ended off on a really high note.
That's
But what's up?
I said that's something that's really good to have. Like, you'll start the year off really strong, and it might get a little worse. Sometimes it gets really bad, and then you end the year off right where everything's okay again, and then you can start the new year with a happy note.
Makes you feel really, really good.
Yeah, like you accomplished something.
But I'm such a child at heart that when we went to Disney, we happened to go during the hurricane that hit like Florida hard.
Ooh.
And it was crazy because we had to decide, last minute, like literally 2 days, like the day before we were actually supposed to fly out, we had to decide if we were going to go, because it was either we go or we do not go, because our flight had gotten canceled. And they offered to let us fly ahead, and we all kind of hit fuck it and said, let's do it. It's not supposed to hit Orlando super hard. It was probably really dumb, like if you really think about it, to like risk it for the biscuit, but it paid off so big.
Well, did they give you the option to get your money back?
I don't know, because I didn't pay for that. It was a birthday/Christmas gift from my dad and his wife.
Oh.
So I wasn't like super in on I know how much it costs because I helped them plan it.
Mm-hmm.
But I also wasn't the one talking with people when there was like cancellation stuff talked about or anything like that.
Okay.
But we were going down there because my birthday is 29th September. We were supposed to fly in on the 28th. And then we were going to do Disney Hollywood Studios on the 29th because I'm a huge Star Wars nerd and it's my birthday, so we were going to go do that.
Hell yeah.
And we were going to build lightsabers and droids and just have a grand old time, right? And then it was supposed to be Animal Kingdom, then Universal, and then just whatever in between, and then we were out of there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think, if I'm remembering correctly, went to 3 parks. Well, we flew in on Tuesday instead of Wednesday. I think that's how the timeline worked out, because I think my birthday was on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So we flew in a day early. Hurricane hit. That was intense. We lived off of gas station food for 2 days.
Jesus.
Because we flew in, we didn't have anything with us other than our clothes.
Right.
And like every restaurant when we first flew in was closed because it was also midnight.
Yeah.
And the hurricane was like really starting to blow in. Because it was supposed to hit really, really hard Wednesday and clear out of our area like Thursday afternoon-ish type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, or Thursday morning. And so there was a Wawa on the corner. Never been to a Wawa, by the way.
I don't even know what a Wawa is.
It is, dude. It's It's like
Is it like Sheets,
kinda
like a
like
come and go?
kind of, yeah. It's got food. It's got like a little like a kitchen in it and stuff where they're making crazy things.
Yeah.
Like they had spicy popcorn chicken. Their sandwiches are incredible. I'd heard online that their sandwiches weren't insane. They're actually super good. Like
Really?
they make sub sandwiches that are incredible.
Okay.
But they had like chicken Alfredo, stuff like that. They had crazy stuff. But so when we flew in, we were able to go to Wawa and get whatever we wanted. It wasn't picked through yet.
Mm-hmm.
But Wednesday, when everything, including grocery stores, was closed, Wawa was, the shelves were empty, and we're like, crap. So we were loading up on what we could. I had Pop-Tarts, I had donuts, I had little tiny bags of chips, like anything I could grab to actually put food in my body, I was grabbing. Luckily, on my birthday, like again, Wawa was still kind of like not stocked. Luckily on my birthday, we couldn't really find places to go eat until it was like later. But we ended up eating at Joe's Crab Shack on my birthday. I'm not the biggest seafood guy, but they have great chicken tenders.
Yeah.
Everybody was having drinks. It was a good time. But then since the parks were closed on my birthday, we didn't get to do Galaxy's Edge on my birthday, which was kind of like, shoot, man. Because that was like the one thing that I was like super stoked for. I've never been able to do something so cool on my birthday. And we ended up, we had to move Galaxy's Edge from Thursday to Sunday. They let us get the ticket switched to Sunday, which was super awesome because we still got to go.
Hell yeah.
Downside, they didn't have any like spots at Savi's workshop where you build the lightsabers set up. And it was a super bummer, man. Like, have you ever had that like moment where you're like amped for like one thing at this one place and you can't do it?
Yeah. Like you've been waiting this whole time.
Yeah, I've been waiting, and like I was so bummed, but I was also so grateful to still get to go to the park. And I was like, you know what? We may not get to build lightsabers, but we're still going to go have a great fucking time. Well, so then our first park that we went to ended up being Animal Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, the way Disney and Universal do their rides and their like areas in the parks are just insane, man. Like, I never thought I could feel like I was in a world that wasn't real, you know?
Yeah.
And like all the time you see the commercials like the magic of Disney, the magic of Disney. It's a magical fucking place. I'm 27 years old, and I felt like a small child watching a movie for the first time, you know? Like, it was just like, whoa. And it was just really neat because we go on, like, the Avatar ride. It was like Flight of Passage or something is what it's called. Mm-hmm. And you ride the, I forget what they're fucking called, the winged things.
Yeah,
you know?
the big winged things.
Yeah, the big winged things, man. But anyway, like, the seat for this ride, you're, like, sat on, like, a motorcycle, basically, is what it feels like. And you got on, like, the 3D goggles and stuff. And, like, as you're sinking to your avatar, like, they're flashing lights in front of you. And you're like, oh, my God. But when you come out of the flashing light, you're, like, super focused on everything around you.
Uh-huh.
And so you're flying on the back of this. It's a Banshee, dude.
Oh.
It just hit me. The Banshees. You're flying on the back of this Banshee. And, like, when it lands and it's breathing, the thing is, like, pulsing between your legs so you can, like, feel the animal breathing.
Ooh.
It was so cool.
Bet you there are a lot of people that got hard from that.
I haven't gotten to tell anyone anywhere other than, like, people close to us. I'm going to announce it for the first time here on the podcast. The one big thing, like the biggest thing of my life, happened on this trip. I actually proposed to Morgan. You've heard me refer to her as my fiance through this podcast. Don't know if anyone picked up on it. But I proposed. She said yes. Did it in front of the Tree of Life. You know, everyone does it in front of the castle. I was like, she likes animals. We're at a once-in-a-lifetime trip. Felt a little cliche, but also didn't do it like in the big area where people are always taking pictures.
Right.
There's a little path back to the tree, like where you can get closer to it.
Yeah.
Well, I did it back there, so it was like a little more private, a little more personal.
Is there any video of this?
There is.
Good.
I will get it to him, and he can I will have my dad actually send it to you because when he sends it to me, coming from Android to iOS, it gets all blurry.
Yeah. So
But because my dad and his wife both have he has an like
S22.
22 Ultra,
Yeah.
so it's super big, and then his wife has a Note 10 or whatever the last Note was, so it's super big. And so when it tries to shrink it down,
Yeah, the
it gets all blurry and weird. But I will definitely get that sent to you so that you can, pop it up wherever, probably right there.
Like right there.
I don't know.
We'll make it a small video. I'll just pop
right over here, dude.
I'll make it a kaleidoscope video. There's just gonna be a whole bunch of them sitting there.
Yep. No, it was a really cool thing. I was terrified. I literally could not get the ring out of my backpack. I was shaking. When I'm talking, you're like, oh, nervous. No, I was like,
yeah, you couldn't.
I couldn't open the dang thing.
No, I feel it 100%. When I proposed to Katie.
Oh, dude, how was that? That's something we haven't talked about. Is proposals, how nerve-wracking it was.
Dude, it was fucking awful, man. I had an entire script planned out. I was talking about it with her cousin because she was sitting there helping me plan it. And
in the mirror, this is what I'm gonna say. This is what I'm gonna say.
No, dead ass on my notes app on my phone. I had it all set out, where I was gonna do it and whatnot, because we had gone to this one park a while ago that she loved, and we found this really beautiful spot. And I was like, all right, that's where I'm gonna do it. So I had the whole spot planned out, everything I was gonna say, and I even had it in my notes to set up my phone like I was gonna take couples pictures, but I just started recording instead. And as I hit record and I started to talk, I started mumbling over my own words, and in the end just said, fuck it, got down on my knee, and she was like, it took her 3 minutes to register what was actually happening. And she was like, what the fuck you, oh my God, kind of.
And that makes me think so much of ours. So in the video, you really can't hear anything we're saying because I was so nervous that I'm really good at projecting my voice. He can account for this. I don't know why I keep going this way. You're this way.
I am that way.
He can account for this. I am very loud when I speak or when I'm laughing or just hanging out with people. I'm super loud. But in this moment, I was so quiet. And so what we did was, I was like, hey, we need to get a picture in front of the Tree of Life at some point because we're here and it's literally it's got Pumbaa and stuff in it, it's got little figures in the tree. It's really neat. And she was all for it. And so we decided to go down a path because my dad kept trying to get me to do it in front of wherever everyone takes pictures because we thought that was the only spot. Well, we decided to go down this random path, and that's how we ended up finding the path that goes behind. But I was so anxious to do it in front of a lot of people because I didn't want the oh my God, everyone around me freaking out.
Yeah.
Because I was already terrified. I'd walked by the Tree of Life 6 times at this point in time, and we bought the ring the day before. Because the ring that I actually got her and wanted to propose to her with wasn't in yet. We'd ordered it, but it hadn't come in.
Right.
And so I proposed with a tiny little Mickey Mouse ring or Minnie Mouse ring that I bought at one of the shops. And I'll get a picture to him so that you guys can see it. It'll probably be right there. And anyway, so I've got this ring in my bag, and I've had it in my bag since the day before. She doesn't go through my stuff because we literally share everything.
Right.
So we're walking down this path, and I'm like, this is a great spot for a picture. And there's no one around. I was like, thank goodness I can actually breathe a little bit because I have social anxiety. And so doing something like that is already hard enough, even though I know her to a T. I know her. And I was like, fuck. And so we're taking the picture, and this is we're just taking a picture. So we pose for a picture. We start to go check and see the picture. She usually hates the first picture we take. I know this. I'm like, she's going to want to take another one. No, the first picture, she was like, that's actually a really good picture. And I was like, well, shit.
Oh, motherfucker.
And so I had to give my dad and his wife a sign to know when to record because they wanted to record it. And so I was like, you know what? Let's take another picture. And I kind of looked at him. She's like, why? And I'm like, just get over here. Let's take another picture. And that's when I'm like, Actually, real quick, I wanted to show you this rock I found because she loves rocks. Absolutely loves rocks. She'll literally walk up to a Chili's parking lot, see a rock in their flower beds, and go, "I want that rock," and she'll take it.
Makes
And
presents
so I was
easy.
like, "I got this really cool rock I found earlier today when you were in the bathroom that I wanted to show you." And so I take off my bag, and I'm like trying to find the ring box in my bag. I see the bag that it's in, and I'm like, okay. And so I'm like, I know that I don't like tell you enough that I love you, and like I'm stumbling over myself, kind of like you were saying, like just couldn't get the words out of my mouth. I had it all up here, couldn't say it. I was just word vomit at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I know that like I want to spend my life with you, and I want to like show you that. I know that like I haven't been able to like show you, confess, like make you secure in the fact that I want to spend my life with you. So, and I pull out the box, and that's when she realizes what's happening. And like you can in the video, you'll see her kind of go like this, and I'm like trying to get the top of the box off because for some reason it had like a tiny little ledge on the bottom, and the box met the little ledge. Right?
Yeah.
So there's like nowhere for me to really grab it. So I'm like jiggling this thing, and I finally get it out. I get down on my knee, and I'm like, will you marry me? Can we make this a forever thing? And of course, she like, what? Because you know her. She's always yelling at me to propose. Never thinks it's gonna happen.
She said, "Where the hell's my ring? Where's my every day? Where's my ring?
Literally,
Where's my ring?"
no. It was funny. It was the night before. She's like, yeah, like one of those conversations. Like, are you ever gonna propose? Where's my ring? Like, blah blah blah. But it's always in a loving way, Like
Yeah.
they're never mean about it. But and so I asked. She said yes. We're now engaged. Wedding is gonna be our actual anniversary of me asking her to be my girlfriend. So we're going to do it August 8th. Or what the fuck? I said August 8th because I'm thinking her passcode like correlates to a lot of different dates.
Uh-huh.
Or like if you type out the actual date, August is 08. So I went August 8th instead of August 23rd, 2024.
2024.
We're going to put it off so we have time to save.
Okay. Where are you guys going to do it down in Arkansas? Over in Arkansas?
I don't know where we're going to do it yet.
Well, if you let me know ahead of time, I will start saving for a trip down there. We'll be there.
Yes.
I'll make sure we're there. I'm sure T-Webb will probably do the same.
Oh, yeah. It's been fucking crazy, man.
No, I know exactly what you're saying when you're talking about that ring box, man. Because I had my hoodie on, right? And when we got to the park, it was late because we drove there. And
Did you have it in your hoodie, like your hoodie front pocket?
I had it in my hoodie front pocket. So
Did you have trouble finding it?
No, I didn't have trouble finding it. I had trouble keeping her hand out of my hoodie pocket because
so you were doing that hoodie karate.
Yeah, I was. I was like, I made sure it was over like on the thicker part of my forearm, and I had her hand in my hand. And I was like holding it half in my hoodie pocket, half out of it at the same time, up against me. But we went there because we were going to go to the Air Force Museum the next day in Dayton. So we went. We were just going to take some cute couple pictures, and then.
It always starts as cute couple pictures.
Yeah, I thought about doing it at the Air Force Museum, but I was like, no, that doesn't have any significant meaning to us, and this park did. So I did it then. So it was late. I didn't expect it to be as dark as it was. So the video quality itself is garbage. But the couple's pictures after were great because the nighttime camera on my phone can take amazing nighttime pictures, but not video. So I'll post a picture of that probably somewhere up in that general area, and maybe the video will play down there if I feel self-conscious enough. Pictures. Yeah.
Of proposals.
Yeah, this entire video is going to be about proposals. We're halfway through it, so.
Dude, it doesn't feel like we've been talking for, 30 minutes?
No, it doesn't. That's the amazing thing about talking in front of an audience, right? They give you the power to keep going.
I feel like there's going to be episodes, especially if we, eventually have someone else come onto the podcast. We're not going to be able to get through enough things.
Right.
We made a short list for our first podcast. We figure we might go over because me and him can go on tangents. And,
yeah.
we could talk. I can talk for days. I'm sure anyone listening is probably sick of me talking because you haven't heard him talk too much. Because I'm over here just like, bleh, 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 bleh. But it's just something that we're good at. Our next segment, our ladies probably don't want us to get into. I have it wrote down.
It's sitting there in the notes.
And it's about our PPs.
Fuck, our PPs. Katie, you better not be watching this one.
I'm just kidding. We're not going to make you guys suffer through listening to hear us talk about our PPs. Okay?
I was going to put an HDR picture of my PP right here.
Oh my! Maybe we should keep that in.
Maybe maybe.
There's this PP. Well, it's going to literally just be a giant, like, bold-faced, typed-out Microsoft Word document that says PP.
That's going to be our OnlyFans content.
Just decorative PPs, so like you get that Microsoft Word text, and you put like little Santa hats on it for the holidays, and
we'll make
hearts for Valentine's, and
we'll make a Patreon and call it Left on Incognito.
There we go. There's an avenue to bring some revenue, huh?
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Got to make money somehow.
But we've had crazy 2022s. Hopeful that 2023 can be better. It can always be better. Like, you can have the best year, and your next year can still be better.
Right.
Don't want to seem ungrateful or unappreciative for the things that I had happen in 2022, but there are some things that I want to forget.
There are a lot of things I want to forget in 2023.
But what are some goals, some aspirations, some resolutions? Let's be cheesy. Let's talk about resolutions first. What are your New Year's resolutions? It is the 7th. Have you been keeping up with them as well?
So I have. And it's only the first fucking week, so we know how well this is going to go. But the biggest resolution this year, other than attempting to upload at least once a month to my YouTube channel, is going to be working out 2 to 3 times a week.
Okay.
So
what are your goals with working out? Is it to gain size, slim down, and also gain size, or just get straight up shredded to the bone for like a beach trip or something?
Well, let's just say I'm trying to be not so little Webb.
Okay, you trying to be beefy Webb?
I'm trying to get a little bit of beefy Webb.
Okay. I don't know. This is completely random and off topic for the moment. Anyone watching live on YouTube, whatever, you're gonna keep seeing me look this way. I have a laptop here. I can't see Lil Webb unless I look at the laptop because I have the stream pulled up on the laptop. And so if you see me looking away a lot, that's why. I'm trying to see what he's doing and like his like facial expressions, because he's got a beautiful face. I'm trying to look at it.
Got a beautiful face that's stretched and elongated because I have to stretch it to meet the the camera quality. Speaking of which, funny. The stream's been running for 40 minutes, and we've dropped no frames at all. We're sitting here running at 4,200 kilobits.
Okay, so you said fitness was for sure a resolution. You got any others?
I want to eat healthier. I want to try and cut out the soda and stuff and the fat. We've been eating a lot of fast food recently because we haven't been
same.
Home. Yeah, like I'll grab something on the way home because it's just me and Grace when I come home. So I grab fast food on the way and I take care of her. So, and Katie does the same. She wakes up, takes care of her, and grabs food. So I want to.
Speaking of eating bad, as soon as we get done with this, I'm going to Texas Roadhouse.
Oh, that's not eating awful. That's just.
Dude, I go there and I get a chicken fried steak smothered in gravy. Like, ooh. I'm pounding the rolls. Like,
you're gonna make me fucking eat bad shit today.
It's so bad. But tomorrow I'm gonna go with Morgan. We're having like a little date day because we haven't really had the money or like the opportunity to have one in a very long time. Like, I'm pretty sure that this last year we went and watched like Venom: Let There Be Carnage or something. Did that come out last year?
Yeah, Carnage was last year.
I think that was our first ever movie date, and we've been together. It'll be 3 years in August.
Hell yeah!
Like, so just over 2 years so far, but like we hadn't been like on an actual like movie date or anything like that. Like, we went to Dave and Buster's one night just out of the blue. We've never had like a planned, we're gonna go do this. and just us have a good time.
So, what is Dave and Buster's? Is it just like a better Chuck E. Cheese?
Kind of. It's like a Chuck E. Cheese for adults.
Really? They're like dildo
It's
prizes you can
basically
win
just
for
a big
tokens.
arcade with a bar in it.
Oh,
But it's like a sports bar type bar with arcade fun, and then like a little, oh, you won this many tickets, well, you can get this teddy bear type thing, like a little winnings shop type thing. It's actually a lot of fun. You'll spend way too much money there. And recently, they have started doing auctions right at the front door. It took everything I had in me to not spend every dollar I had, because the auction for this Travis Kelce signed helmet. I'm a big Chiefs fans, you can tell. Game day, so I've got some of my Chiefs gear on, Plus my hair looked like shit, so I threw a beanie on. But Travis Kelce signed like helmet, and it was like an actual full size replica helmet.
Replica helmet, or was it his helmet?
I could wear it and hit somebody with it,
Who?
But it was set at like $350 was the highest bid, and the bid was about to close. I had $355 in our bank account, and I really considered buying it. I was this close, and luckily, I was like, we're trying to have a date, and we went in and had a good time, and didn't go home with a Travis Kelce signed helmet, but it's okay. There's always next time.
There's always next time. There's always going to be something else you can find. And Travis Kelce's young, right? He's not older.
He's like 33, bro.
Oh, you got plenty. He's not going to keel over anytime soon. You got plenty of time to get some signed shit.
But they're going to, even after he's gone, they're going to do the same thing they do with, Trent Green, Tony G.
Yeah.
Dante Hall. They're going to still sell their signed stuff.
Yeah.
So you want to get fit, you want to eat better. What kind of eating better are you looking to do? Kind of tone back the calories, or go for a more clean diet? Not just starve yourself, but clean everything up.
I want to clean it up. I want to try to not eat as many processed foods, because that's the biggest killer for me. Is I'll sit down and I'll buy pre-processed food.
Or go to McDonald's and get a cheeseburger.
Or go to McDonald's and get a cheeseburger. I don't want to cut back so far as to start the keto diet, because that shit's fucking expensive, man.
It's also actually really hard on your body. If you do deep research into it, it can be really harsh on your body.
Yeah. So I just want to eat healthier, eat a salad every once in a while, and cut back. Even if I don't cut back completely on soda, I want to cut back on dark sodas.
If you want a way to I don't know. It was something I ate when I worked at Chick-fil-A. Their freaking salads are so good. And you can kind of satiate that I need something, greasy, by getting one of their salads with the chicken nuggets in it, right? Because the chicken nuggets, may not be the best form of chicken for you by any means.
Right, but it's definitely better than
McDonald's.
Get a
cheeseburger.
Yeah.
And you're still going to get... They do really, really good process of keeping their stuff fresh.
Yeah.
And they've got a spring mix in their salad and stuff like that. So I would always just go get their basic salad, the regular salad. I just wouldn't eat the egg and the tomatoes in it, because I don't like boiled eggs.
Right.
And also don't really care for tomatoes, cherry tomatoes. So I would pull those out, and I would just mix in one packet of their dressing and just go to town on that salad, man. And with the chicken and the amount of lettuce and stuff that they have in their spring mix, it was so good, and it made me feel so good.
Yeah.
And another thing that I do to kind of help me make a better choice, especially if I'm out and it's man, it'd be so easy to stop and have this McDonald's burger, or go to Five Guys for dinner. I keep staying on burgers, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
go get something easy for dinner that's not good for you. Stop at Chipotle.
Yeah, go get
but
something.
That's easier for me than maybe for you, because I don't know if there's a Chipotle anywhere.
Well, actually, fun fact: a Chipotle just opened up 10 minutes from here, so and it's right next to a Starbucks, so they get business.
Honestly, when I have the money, that is my go-to post gym food. As cliche and cheesy as it is, you see all the dudes, all the fitness influencers on YouTube and TikTok are always like, "Yeah, man, just hit the gym, having my Chipotle." Like, it's right
protein.
there. It's loaded with protein if you do it right, and it's just really, really good, man. And it's solid for you. It's not the best thing in the world because you can tone back on the seasonings or the cheese or whatever, but nothing's getting weighed out. But it's still so much better for you than other options.
Right. I can't. I want to start building my own home gym because I can't really justify spending $50 a month on a gym that's right down the street that I'm not gonna that I'm really not gonna
drive to every day.
I don't want to drive to it every day, and it's cold. So like, especially in the winter, I had a membership to the gym right down the street, Iron Eagle Fitness, and I went all of twice before it got cold. And because my goal was to either run there, jog there, or bike there in the morning, so I could get some sort of cardio in before I got there, and then did strength workouts.
And it'd be like a good warm up too.
Yeah, it was a really great warm up, and it felt great. It made me feel great, but it got cold, and I stopped doing it because I didn't want to drive down there. Seemed like pointless. And then shit started happening. I started picking up more hours at work, and I lost some motivation to go. That's why I started doing like home workout stuff. Like I have a Bowflex. I don't like the Bowflex.
Bowflexes suck.
I don't like Bowflex. It's not weights. I like solid weights. I don't know. I want to go on Facebook Marketplace and pick up like a weight tree in the bench.
Dude, honestly, you can. They're home. Sorry for the dogs barking in the background. There's nothing I can do to stop it. They won't stop till they come inside. So
you're fine.
Go on like Amazon. All you need to really get is like a weight, like an Olympic weight set. Like I know Academy had one when I worked there for like $200. You could get the barbell and 300 pounds worth of weights for like $200, and it's like, that's really for like us. We're not going crazy. Like,
no.
Yeah, I might squat more than that, but that's it. I'm not gonna bench more than that. I'm not gonna bent over row more than that. I'm probably not gonna deadlift more than that for at least a couple weeks. Like,
right.
And for like sets, definitely not like lifting any more than that.
No. And if I ever go above 300, then I'll probably think about going to a gym because I'll just use their weights.
Why? You can go and get a couple plates from Academy or whatever store you have around that sells them, and they're not expensive to get single plates. It's just you don't want to spend the money getting the single plates because that'll add up, of course.
Yeah.
And then get the barbell and like. But what I was getting at is like you can go on Amazon and find like a decent squat rack, which is double. All you gotta do is get a bench, and you can have bench, squat, bent over rows. You can clean. Because you'll have the barbell. Like there's all these different things you could do with just a squat rack in your garage.
Right. And I would probably put
it's like $400 for a squat rack, which I mean, don't get me wrong, that's not cheap, but it's a whole lot better than spending $50 a month on a gym membership throughout the year, when you can literally just walk out your garage door and you're at the gym.
Right, and honestly, I'm thinking about just building a squat rack in my basement because I have access.
You have the means to do that.
Yeah,
I do not.
I can bolt it up to a.
It's just like you
Raptors.
Can go to Micro Center and I can't. I've never been to a Micro Center.
Well, I can't just go to a Micro Center. I have to drive.
It might be a little bit of a drive,
but I mean,
what I'm saying. Like,
there's no Micro Center near you.
I don't know that there's one in the state. There might be one in Little Rock, but I'd have to look. But,
you can throw a stone and hit a headquarters of some kind.
Yeah.
Like, what's out there? The Coca-Cola headquarters, the Walmart headquarters.
I live in Walmart capital of the world.
Yeah, Walmart capital.
Like, literally, the first ever shop is like 20 minutes from where I'm at.
Yeah. Oh.
It's crazy. But so have you been able to keep up with your resolutions? Like, I know you said you wanted to work out 2 to 3 times a week minimum. Have you done that this week?
So this week I haven't been doing a lot of strength building per se, but I've been doing, whenever I get the chance, push-ups, sit-ups, and I've been like cardio in place, if that makes sense.
I gotcha.
To try and up myself because I feel like duty and I want to up myself.
Right. Like, we also all have like a terrible image of ourselves. Like,
Yeah.
we all look at ourselves through this like awful lens and just pick ourselves apart because we're all like trained by media and like entertainment that there's a perfect form to everything. Like, women have this perfect figure, men have this perfect figure, you know. Dogs look like this, like, and they, you know, like it goes down the line, and so it's hard not to look at yourself in the mirror and go, man, I don't look like Chris Evans, so I must not look good.
Dude, I'm gonna go and build myself like Chris Evans, man.
You're gonna come out chiseled and sweaty from the machine?
Yeah, he just did an interview about how he kept up with being the Captain America image, and Marvel pressured him to do it. He said it was so hard for him to keep up with it because if, like, that helicopter scene in the last Avengers movie where he was holding the helicopter to the building, he, in between takes, they brought in a weight set, he would go off set and just start pumping weights to keep himself looking toned.
It's the same thing that, like, Ben Affleck had to do for when he was Batman. Like,
yeah.
He was having to do those sets to get sweaty or head to get oiled up or just to make everything look super crazy. And it's just, that's Hollywood and entertainment, and you get that with some like influencers. Like, they'll oil up for a picture, you know?
Right.
And it can mess with people and give them body dysmorphia. Like, I'm almost positive I have body dysmorphia, but I also am not in a state where I look at myself and go, man, I try not to compare myself to people. I really do. But at the same time, like, I'm not fit right now, so I'm not going, well, you don't look like Chris Evans, so you're ugly, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, I kind of look like a blob, but it's because I'm about to go pound this cheeseburger and I continue making bad choices.
So we understand why we look like this, and we're trying to...
Yeah.
We're going to get ourselves there.
We have very similar goals. I haven't kept any of mine.
No.
But I also, like the gym, right? I don't know anyone or like have family that has any form of like weights or anything that I can go use. Which I know there for a while you did. I don't know if you still do.
Yeah, I still. That's the whole travel back and forth thing. They're 25 minutes away, and that's a lot of gas that I could be saving for another day of work.
So I just have like a membership to Planet Fitness because it's really all that we have around here. Because Morgan doesn't like. She's not against it, but she's not super big in like the aggressive gym scene, you know? Like, she doesn't want...
I don't want to go
She'll feel uncomfortable if like dudes are wandering around shirtless and the women are posing for pictures and stuff, because it's a self-esteem thing, right? We all look at ourselves in a poor way. Like, I would be uncomfortable right now being in a place like that.
Right, and I don't... And that's the biggest reason I stopped going to the gym, other than not having time, but... I don't like working out around a lot of people. Like, the most I'll do is 3 to 4 because my grandfather's gym is usually got a couple people in it. But I won't lift heavy weights without a spotter. I won't. Right. Even though he's got the bars there to save me if anything happens. I'm not the strongest guy in the world. I'm a fucking twig. But like, for the longest time, my motivation to go to the gym was the partner I was going to lift with. So, like, Stephalophagus or Steven, he and I were going to the gym, and we were going on schedule for, like, 2 months. And we had a great schedule working out, and then he started getting busy, or he started getting sick, and we started making up an excuse to not go. And that's one of the biggest reasons I started working out on my own at home, because I can't.
Oh, my God.
I couldn't rely on him wanting to go, and he was my motivation to go. Like, even if I don't want to go, he wants me to go so he can get there.
Right.
So if I'm there, I might as well do something while I'm there. I'm not just going to sit there and watch him work out. I'm going to work out too.
That's low-key, like, part of the reason, like, I know we've talked off and on about, like, trying to convince one another to move near the other. And I feel like that's kind of, like, one of the things. It's like, we would always have someone to go do the gym or... to kind of keep us in check for other things, or to just have someone, because I don't know about you, but I am a social butterfly, when I'm put in the right settings, but generally I'm not just going to go out and meet people. Like when I go to work, I will end up making a friend or two, but I'm not going out of my way to make a friend or two. I'm there to get my money and go home so that I can live the life I want to.
Right.
And it's one of the things that like Morgan kind of picks on me for us because like I'm great at making friends.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't do it. So we never have friends to go out to the clubs or have for a game night or whatever it may be. So we have no social life.
Right.
And it's a lot on me because like she'll make friends, but then I'm like, I don't really want to hang out with people today.
Yeah.
My social battery has been drained for months. I am dead inside. Please don't put me around anymore.
So I think the biggest thing that kind of demotivated me from doing any sort of working out for the longest time was being in the military. And I'm there, they're like, well, why can't you do this? Why can't you do this? Why don't you go to the gym for 3 hours a day every day? Well, it's because I get out of work at 5, 6 o'clock every day, and I want to spend time with my family. I have a life.
Yeah.
I'm 20, and I have a kid, a home, and a fiance. I can't just dedicate all of my life to work and working out and come home and sleep and do it again the next day. It's like the guys on base are sitting there like, well, you should be in 20, you should be hitting the gym for 3 hours a day every day all week. And I was like, well, why? Who doesn't have a life that can do that? Like at most I can do maybe an hour and a half every other day, but I can't do it every day.
Right. And like that's totally understandable, but I feel like that's part of what, like I said, makes me kind of consider moving to closer to you, like in Ohio, so that I can kind of have someone that on those days where, because like I don't know if you've like, I mean you've experienced it, of course, going to the gym with Cephalophagus. If your partner going into the gym that day doesn't have good energy and you have great energy, if you don't flip that switch for them, it'll bring the whole workout down.
Right.
And so it's nice to have that person be like, hey man, just get your ass in gear, let's do this. Like we're gonna kill this shit.
Yeah, we got to bring the motivation up. We got to pump ourselves up to help the other one get going.
Yeah, and like right now we're both in that situation where like we don't really have someone to go work out with. Like I have Morgan, but it's I don't know, it's not the same as having like a gym bro, you know?
Yeah. So
like, I love working out with her, love helping her learn how to be in the gym. But it's just different because she just loves me and cares about me and will support me in anything I do, but she's not.
She doesn't pump you up in the gym like a bro would.
I'm trying to figure out how to say this without getting myself in trouble.
She's just standing there off camera looking at you like, I'm watching.
Imagine.
I'm waiting.
No, like I do enjoy our workouts, but it's not like when I was in college and had someone helping me train,
Yeah.
That knew more than me or knew the same amount as me and things like that. Like it's a little different when you've got a guy to work out with versus a lady.
Right.
Because like the workouts generally are tailored differently. Like like she doesn't want to get super jacked, right? Like most women don't want to get jacked out of their minds. I want to work every muscle and grow every muscle.
Right.
And so that's where like, she'll do 3 sets of, this, whereas she'll do like 3 sets of 8 because she wants to be stronger. She just doesn't want to get huge.
Right.
And I'll do like 3 sets of 15 because I'm trying to do hypertrophy, right? Yeah. And it just kind of throws off the whole vibe because like we're not doing the same things, and so it just like kind of doesn't keep me locked in because I'm more worried about making sure her form's right and her weights are challenging her enough, but at the same time she has fibromyalgia, so I'm not trying to wear her out.
Right. So you're trying to sit
so
there.
I'm more focused on that than I am on my workout.
Right. And that's.
Whereas if I'm in there with like you, for instance, we would just be hammering it because.
Oh yeah.
Set
after set
dumb
after set.
And we don't want to walk the next day.
Yeah, I want to be sore and I want to not feel myself.
And like here, all I have really is Planet Fitness, and I hate that place more than anything.
Dude, Planet Fitness is garbage, man.
I've set off the lunk alarm, and it wasn't on purpose. It was a complete accident.
You set off the what?
The lunk alarm. They have a lunk alarm.
What's a lunk alarm?
It's a judgment-free zone, but they choose when to set that alarm off.
What?
Yeah.
So
it's like this alarm that goes off if you're being too loud, or you're throwing your weights around, or they'll even set it off on you if you have like on a stringer.
What?
Like, yeah, it doesn't make sense, man. But the biggest issue I have with them is not even that stupid fucking alarm. It's the lack of free weights. Like, yeah, you've got dumbbells, but that's it. Everything else is on a Smith machine or another form of,
Yeah, I can't.
Just a regular machine, and I can't bench in there. I can't squat in there without being on a track.
Right. I don't like machines in any way. Sure, they're great for when you want to get a quick workout in, but
I only use machines for accessory movements.
Yeah, that's
like a nice chest fly or something. It's nice to use those machines.
Yeah.
But even then, I'd still pick up just dumbbells and do it. But it's really defeating to walk into that place and go, I really want to hit legs today, but I can't do, deadlifts without being on a track. I can't do squat without being on a track. I can't,
Right.
I can't do hip thrust without being on a track.
Right. It helps a little bit with your form, but
yes and no. It actually can be detrimental to your form.
Really?
Because it locks you into that one spot.
Oh.
So like your hips naturally kind of want to flare backwards, right? And
right.
That's why a lot of people end up leaning over their toes. But you can't follow your body's natural range of motion because of that Smith machine. In my experience, I have trouble with it. It like starts to hurt.
Right. My grandfather has
and so, oh my gosh, what is happening?
They're trying to tell us that we've been on for an hour.
It's okay.
Yeah.
We figured the first one would probably go over a little bit because we haven't even got into any.
Yeah, we're becoming a weightlifting talk. What else are we talking about? Let's transition a little bit. We want to work out. Yeah, that's cool. We're both weak as shit and have dad bods. Anyway.
Speak for yourself, buddy. I'm strong.
I'm telling. All right,
I've got a juicy dump truck.
How about this? We're coming in for your wedding, right?
Yeah.
By the day after your wedding, I want to be able to outlift you. That's my goal.
What lift though? Let's specify here.
All right. What's the? I'll outbench you. I want to be able to outbench you.
That will probably happen.
Will it?
Like my weakest lift.
I can only bench like 135.
The most I've ever benched, and I'm talking like when I was in the gym, day in, day out, lifting out of my mind, I barely got up 225. That is the most I've ever benched.
Okay, well then that's our goal. By the day after your wedding, I want to be able to bench more than you, however much you can bench that day.
I gotta get in the gym.
You and I both gotta get in the gym.
But I think I've got a slight advantage in the sense that my arms are a little bit shorter.
A little bit.
Because you are like 7 foot tall.
I'm like 6 foot.
And I'm only, 5'9".
I have like 4 inches
5'8",
on you.
5'7". I'm probably like 5'5".
You're like 5 foot nothing.
Yeah. So I've got little stubby little arms.
Yeah.
I actually have really long arms for my height. But
so, off topic, how can your computer not handle recording and streaming at the same time? I'm streaming at 1080p, locked in at 60 frames. I'm not even hitting 30% of my CPU. And
well, to be fair, when I was trying to do that, I was with poo-poo internet. Oh. And so that could have been part of the problem.
Okay. All right. I'll take your word for it.
But at the same time, I also had to upgrade my CPU right after I had that issue. So I have a much better CPU now.
Okay. Well, then maybe
So probably will easily do it. I just haven't tried it.
I haven't even dropped a single frame, and that's what's surprising.
So do you have? I know you're like more like you said earlier. You're more into editing content than you are per se creating it yourself.
Yes.
Like you like to kind of throw your own flair on someone else's content when you're editing, right?
Yeah.
Like with mine, you have like.
I have
so
Lil
this is
Webb.
a running thing. He has Lil Webb. It's and like so that's how he's known to me and my community is LeftOnTheWebb. He has a little stick figure that pops up randomly throughout the videos that will make little comments or whatever. It's like his own little twist on like my joke in the video or whatever it may be. What are some goals you have like when it comes to content this year?
So I want to not define goals on content. Do you mean like goals on me creating my own content or goals on me editing content?
Do you have any editing goals? Do you have any creation goals? Do you have any?
So
do you want to become a full-time podcaster? Like, what are some goals?
So my goals are I want to get more into editing. Like I want to actually sit down, learn more twists, get better at like transitions and all that because my transitions are still a little choppy. I want to get better at edits, so like throwing in the words here or the words there and getting them to come into screen and off a screen smoother than the way I do. It's all just sitting down and taking the time to actually learn it, which I obviously haven't had time, but I'm getting there. It's the most I know how to do is throw a picture on screen for a second and take it off, or like make it fade on and fade off. Same thing with words, like how I do with all of the clips of the week videos. That's really all I know how to do. I can kind of make something pop up on a screen and pop out like I do Little Webb, but there's not much else I really know how to do.
I gotcha.
That's why I downloaded this new editing software that kind of makes it a little easier. So I'm trying to fiddle with it and play with it. It's like $20.
So you can kind of gain your bearings and then maybe try like one that's a little more difficult or something?
Yeah, so it's very similar to Premiere Pro in that aspect of how it's laid out, where everything is, all the settings and whatnot. So I can learn on this and see how it is when it's easier and then progress up to Premiere Pro like you have.
I gotcha.
Or like After Effects.
Do you have any creation goals?
So I want to try... I like doing story content. So, like right now, the game I'm playing on my YouTube channel is High on Life.
That one looks really funny.
It is. It's fucking hilarious. If you like Rick and Morty, you'll love this game.
I actually just started to watch Rick and Morty with Morgan.
Really?
So, well, we started to watch it when we lived in Texas, and then, all the moving. We've been together, like I said, just a little over 2 years, and we're about to move for our 5th time when we finally move again.
Jesus. I think.
Yeah, we've moved so many times, and that's why there's been like these hiccups with like my content. It's like I'll be there consistent, and then I'm gone for a couple months, then I'm back, and then I'm gone, and then I'm back, and then I'm gone. And like right now, I've been gone the longest I've ever been gone, and it stresses me out.
Well, okay, so we'll talk about this. Where do you want to go with this podcast? How do you want to take it? Because I know you and I can motivate each other since we're both on it.
Right. First and foremost, I want to have not have dogs barking in the background to start with.
That would be a start.
But you can't always get what you want.
Right.
Right now, my phone is what we're using as my camera because my entire life, so I've devoted the last 6-7 years
to your streaming setup.
to building my streaming setup and my stream and trying to find my niche, my foothold to grow it into a career.
Right. And
there's been moments of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's been really good moments of it, but I've always got something in life that pulls me back down. It's like, hey, we're not there yet. And so then I have to retry again, right? And we're about to have that for the 6th or 7th time of retrying. And but my entire setup is in storage right now.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, when that storage payment comes around, I am staring at the bank statement and bank app in my phone, making sure it comes out, because I will go break that lock off and pull all of my shit out if they try to say that I didn't pay on time.
Right. Because that's an expensive setup.
Literally everything's in there. Everything. All my monitors, my 2 computers, my headset, my everything. My PS5, my God of War Collector's Edition, God of War Ragnarok Collector's Edition. I haven't even opened is in there. I haven't even looked at it.
This man's got rid of Twitter so that way he didn't see any spoilers for it.
I've blocked words on Twitter. I haven't got rid of Twitter.
Oh, okay.
But I don't get on it near as much because of it.
Right.
And I literally tell every friend that I find out that gets it, I swear to you, if you say anything about it, we're no longer friends. That is my favorite game franchise of all time. And I probably won't even read the YouTube comments because someone's going to try to troll me and say something about it. Like, until I can play the game.
That's why we have mods. That's why we have mods on stream.
And I'm saying, like when we put it up as a video on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
there might be someone that says something, and I'm gonna leave the comment reading to LeftOnTheWebb. He'll relay it to me, and I'll tell him what to say on my behalf.
I forgot we were streaming on my Twitch. I'm glad that T-Web's a mod, because otherwise I don't have any mods on here.
Well, I'm here. Am I not a mod?
I don't think you're a mod. I didn't even set up. He set up my Stream Elements moderators. I didn't even do it. So I was like, I don't know how to. I was having trouble with it or something, and he set it up.
I'm not. Just so everyone knows, and it's listening, I'm not a moderator in his chat. I just said hello.
He's not. But your name's purple.
There's no badges.
Your name's purple.
It's because I make it purple.
Oh.
I have Prime Gaming now, you know?
Oh.
But no, I feel that, like, the need to, like, want to create in ways that you're best at, right? Like,
right.
I love story games, but when I stream them, I end up getting lost in them, and I don't speak as much, and that's, like, what my stream is built on, is me talking a ton and, you know, showing my personality. And when I play, like, a story game, like when I played Spider-Man, right? I was just having a great time fucking swinging around and dangling off buildings.
Right.
That I wouldn't talk for 10, 15 minutes at a time.
So that's kind of how...
I'll just make, like, ooh and ah comments.
That's kind of how I built my YouTube channel, was just me sitting there and enjoying a game I want to enjoy, and then making the snarky, like, smart-ass comments that I usually make to myself, but recording it and posting it online.
Right. That's a goal I have for myself, is to find a way to make those story-based games a little bit more enjoyable for, like, the live audience versus... Because, like, when you go to YouTube, if you're going to watch a story-based game, you're watching it generally for the game, right?
Right.
You do appreciate the personality, but you're not like, oh, this guy isn't talking. But when you're watching a live stream, you're generally watching it to interact with that person, right?
Yeah.
And that's something I want to get better at, is when I play a story-based game, still having those moments of being able to communicate with people and it, like, flow well.
Yeah.
I'm looking for growth there.
So, for this podcast, since we're getting closer towards the hour-and-a-half limit we set ourselves...
Yep. We set ourselves a limit because we knew we were going to go over.
Yeah, we knew 100%. Like, we're 12 minutes over our time limit right now. That's... do you want to do this, like, do you want to make it a weekly thing? You want to make it a bi-weekly thing that gives us time to figure out what kind of content we want to say and make, figure out talking points, because we actually, surprisingly enough, hit all of our talking points.
Yeah, we hit every single one of them. It's crazy.
Yeah, I genuinely didn't think we'd make it past our PPs.
I didn't think we'd make it the full hour, and here we are.
Yeah, we're sitting here, we're just fucking...
Tangents on tangents.
Rambling our asses off.
But we do need to go ahead and get to closing it, because we still need to have our live Q&A segment that we wanted to set ourselves.
Yeah.
Even though, you know, it may only be T-Webb asking the questions, but still.
Well, we got 4 people in here.
No, I mean, I would love to do the podcast weekly. I think for now, we should probably shoot for bi-weekly so that we can make sure we have decent talking points. But that's something we can kind of play with both. We could do a weekly podcast. We do a bi-weekly podcast. See what feels better to us.
Right. As long as we don't go... So, my niche with this is going to be, if we're going to do it weekly or bi-weekly, we can say bi-weekly and then do it weekly, and then... So that way, if we have our schedule set for it to be bi-weekly and we do throw another one in there, it's kind of more bonus content than it is... So I would say we stick with bi-weekly, and then if we decide to do it, like, say we come up with enough talking points to do another podcast, then we plan a second one early.
Sprinkle in an extra one.
Sprinkle in an extra one. Kind of like bonus content.
But that's one thing that, like, I want to make clear is, like, we're not just going to come on here and talk about us. Like, we're going to talk about sports, current events, you know.
Shit that
video
interests
games
us.
that are coming out. Like, the next one will probably be heavily gaming related, because I would love to talk about the video games that are coming out soon.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, literally next month, you've got, like, what? Is Dead Island next month?
Dead Island is next month, yes.
And then you've got Hogwarts Legacy. Is that next month or March?
That's March, I think.
Like, we've got Spider-Man 2 coming out at some point this year. We've got, there's tons of games that I would love to talk about and just like speak my excitement on. And
One Piece is coming out this year.
I didn't even know that was.
Yeah, One Piece Odyssey.
So there's going to be things that he's going to be able to point out that I didn't realize were coming. But also, like we're going to talk movies. We're going to, we're nerdy dudes that also want to, be jacked. So we're going to talk about the most random shit. And it's going to be a great time every time.
Yeah. One little extra tidbit of information before we get into the Q&A. Dead Space, there's a new Dead Space video game coming out on the 27th of this month.
I'm going to make everyone very mad. I've never played a Dead Space game.
Bruh.
You want me to make you even more mad? I've never played Halo.
Nah, I knew that.
To be fair, though, I've never owned an Xbox, so I never had the ability to play Halo.
And now it's on Steam.
Fuck you, buddy. I don't know. I haven't had my computers basically since Halo got freaking...
Yeah, since the Master Chief Collection was a year before you stopped streaming.
Shut your mouth.
Because I remember sitting down playing it when I wasn't playing games with you. I was sitting down playing the Master Chief's Collection.
Anyway, I'm going to keep coming up with excuses. Another thing, there's tons of games that I haven't played. I would love to eventually try them. Because, everyone wants me to try and experience these things. But at the same time, I want to be able to give people games that they may not have tried,
Yeah. All right.
But I think that's where it's going to end for our listeners, because we are going to chop off the Q&A portion for the first probably 2 episodes. And if that is something you guys want to hear, let us know. Whether it be in the comments of, can you comment on a podcast? Is there a way to let someone, in a review of the podcast or something?
I don't know.
Tweet at me.
Yeah, tweet.
At @shootin_lefty on Twitter.
That's smart.
Follow me, tweet at me. Let me know what you think of the podcast if you're listening to it. And we're going to try to, like I said, put it on Spotify. We're going to try to figure out Apple and Google, the best ways to go about putting it on there. Anywhere else I can figure out where to put a podcast.
TikTok.
Well,
we can put clips on TikTok.
And be like, hey, you got to put it here too.
And I'll be like, God damn it.
I just cracked the whip, I just beat him. And I pay him in Trident layers.
He does. I get paid in Trident layers.
Trident layers because I'm poor.
I don't even think I got a Trident layers when I came to visit you.
No. But I think that's where it's going to end for you guys. We appreciate you coming and listening to us ramble about the most random things about us, including our PPs. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. The next one we hope will be a little bit more structured, because this, like I said, is our first podcast. Neither one of us had. Well, you had, hadn't you?
I did.
Had a podcast in the past.
I've
never done a podcast. I lost my podcast virginity right now.
He did. I took his podcast virginity. So I did one podcast back in 2015 called the Spartan Pringle Podcast with my buddy Nick, and we just sat down and talked about random shit because we were young and 14 years old and had absolutely no idea what we were doing.
But we hope to see you guys, in 2 weeks. Bi-weekly podcast. If you happen to see one earlier, keep it rolling. If you're, I don't know, how do you tell someone to show you that they enjoy it when they're listening? Can you like it on Spotify or something?
You might be able to like it on Spotify.
Just tweet at me. We're just going to keep with the Twitter. Just let me know you like the podcast, and we'll keep doing it. We'll keep rolling it out. Because fun. I love to talk. So
use the hashtag LeftOnTheWebb podcast.
Bang. Hashtag LeftOnTheWebb podcast. Those of you that aren't ever here, if you're not able to make it live, that's going to be a great way for you guys to ask a question. We might start doing that in future episodes. Hashtag LeftOnTheWebb podcast. On Twitter, if you put a question on there, we may read one of your questions and answer it.
Yep.
Who knows?